Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. Let's start with today's stories. Am I the idiot for feeling destroyed? My mother stole and damaged my wedding dress? I was 16, female, and my parents kicked me out. I had grabbed a few bags and left to live with my best friend, 16, male, and his parents at the time. Previously to me being kicked out, I was given my grandmother's wedding dress, which I wanted to wear as my own one day. Once I was kicked out, my mother and sister raided my room for what they wanted before I came back to collect the rest of my things. I did notice this at the time, but didn't have the mental energy to fight about it. The wedding dress was one of those items taken from me in 2021. She used the excuse that the people I was staying with left their house unlocked, and she didn't want it stolen or damaged, so she was going to get it cleaned and boxed. And she stated, "You shouldn't have it, it's a family heirloom." Today I got it back, after 2 years of fighting my mother. The threat of police and courts caused her to finally fold. She doesn't want legal trouble, as it would make her perfect image crumble in front of her. I had to go to my grandmother to get a recording of her stating it was mine. Keep in mind my grandmother is 92 and has bad memory, yet she remembered that 2 years ago she gave it to me and remembers the entire day in detail. So anyway, after all of that, which I've left so much out, I open the box and it's ruined. There is thousands of dollars worth of damage. She handed me the box with the dress, after going on a rant about how she spoke to Grandma, and anyone in the family who wants to use it should be allowed, as that's what Grandma gave it to me for, was to be its keeper and lend it out when wanted. False. In the recording I ask, "What did you do with your wedding dress?" "It's okay if you don't remember." She says, "What do you mean, I gave it to you?" I told my grandmother, "I will be wearing this as my wedding dress," and she states, "I wish to see it on you again one day, as she most likely won't live to see the day I'm married." Nowhere in the conversation does she mention the fact I must lend it out to others. In fact, she affirms it's mine and mine alone. I have told my sister that after I've worn the dress at my wedding, I might lend it to her. This dress drama started because she wanted to clean and keep the dress from being damaged or stolen, only to steal the dress from me, clean it and damage it beyond belief. My whole family, including my partner, believe I'm being overdramatic in how angry and betrayed I feel. However, I feel I have full right to be angry, as she stole and damaged my dress, then tried to turn it into some kind of communal wedding dress, after it had specifically been given to me. I called her, and she sounded like she was trying not to laugh, saying, "Well, that is the risk you take when getting an old wedding dress dry cleaned." I believe it's 100% her responsibility to fix. So I will be demanding she get it repaired at her cost. I'm so tired of being invalid, but I need to know, am I the idiot? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I'm being judged on the fact I got upset. Because I'm one of those people expected to put up with anything and everything. OP gives more info in the comments. The top of the dress is literally torn in half, the side has a large hole by the zip, and the lacing down the front is ripped beyond repair. That part will need to be replaced, and discolored on the embroidery, which is also hanging on by a thread. I believe it was all about controlling me, as I was no longer under her roof and she had nothing to hold over my head. But all of a sudden she has this dress and she now holds the power. That's all it was. She never cared for it. She was asked if she wanted it as her wedding dress and she said a big fat no, as it wasn't her style. I'd be interested to know what your grandma thinks of her wedding dress being destroyed by her brat of a child. That would benefit me, seeing my mother get told off like a 2-year-old. However, my grandmother is very old and emotions can affect her health now. It's just not worth it to me. I love my grandmother more than the dress. I don't want to stress her, as she had a small heart attack earlier this year. I was in the hospital with her. She's okay now. Though I just gotta play it safe. Is there any way to file charges for destroying the dress? Well, the obvious theft, then the destruction of property, then the refusal to pay for the damages, so yes, there are 100% charges I could press on her. So, it is my dress, it was stolen from me and put in an unknown location. Next, I didn't leave it for 2 years. It was taken the first day I left. I got lawyers involved within the first few months, but I didn't have proof it was given to me at the time. Apart from my words, and as my mother spread lies about me to my family, I didn't want to see my grandma at the time, because I didn't know what she was told. It actually is likely I can hold her accountable. As in my country, pressing charges for theft, destruction of another's property. I am moving on each day, putting a bit more hurt away. The wedding dress is yours, your grandmother gave it to you, is that simple. Your mother took it, or rather stole it from you, not because she wanted the dress for herself, but simply on a whim. She did it to hurt you, because she knew it was important. Any damage that happened to it, whether intentionally or unintentionally, while it was in her possession, is her fault and she must pay, literally, for it. And for those people who told you to let it go, F them. If your property is damaged, you deserve to be compensated. Not the idiot OP. Now let's read the comments. Not the idiot. If it is thousands of dollars worth of damage, I'd take her to court. Not the idiot, but you actually wrote your own solution in your post. You said your mom doesn't want any legal trouble. She destroyed your dress, your property. That is a crime. Call the police on her, and when she calls enraged, tell her, that's the risk you take when you damage other people's belongings. Also, since she cares so much about appearance, I would take a pic of the dress and blast her on social media. She sounds like a bully. Only one way to deal with a bully: show them you will not be bullied and they will face consequences when they do. Not the idiot, but if your partner doesn't understand how important the dress is for you, they are not worth marrying. Not the idiot. Your feelings of anger and betrayal are justified. The wedding dress is more than just a garment, it's a symbol of your connection to your grandmother and her legacy. Your mother's actions, including taking and damaging the dress and then dismissing your feelings, show a lack of respect for this sentimental value. Asking your mother to pay for the repairs is a reasonable demand for accountability. Not the idiot. Not only you should sue for the damage, you should get a new partner who understands that you're rightfully upset over something that is greatly valuable to you emotionally, and have your back about it. It's not just a wedding dress, it's your grandma's wedding dress, and your dream wedding dress, that you were going to wear one day. Also, I hope you go no contact with your family after this. They sound abusive and you deserve better. And what about you? Would you do the same as OP to get something so important back? Or do you think she went too far? Leave your comments down below. Oh, are you enjoying the video so far? If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. This helps the channel, so I really appreciate it. Now let's go to the update. Update: am I the idiot for feeling destroyed? My mother stole and damaged my wedding dress? I, 18, female, moved back in with my parents a few months ago. Living with my partner's parents became difficult. They were arguing a lot, we were sleep deprived, on edge, and angry all the time as a consequence. That wasn't the best mix for our relationship. Know where you go is perfect, I guess. My partner has a full-time job, but the cost of living is ridiculous, where I'm from. My partner has apologized and re-explained his point of view. Sometimes young men don't communicate well. All is forgiven. I spoke with my mother about fixing the dress. I was told the dress is old. I should have expected damage to be done and she refuses to pay for the damage. I made the point that she didn't care about the dress being damaged, in the first place, this was all about controlling me, once she kicked me out. I got no answer to that. The top of the dress is torn, the side has a large hole by the zip, the fabric down the front is ripped, that part will need to be replaced, and the embroidery is hanging on by a thread. I'm thinking of making an entirely new dress with salvageable fabric. I don't have the energy for legal action at this moment, just the emotional stress I've felt from this has been enough to deal with. OP also explains how this whole mess started. How I got kicked out. This is the short version. When I was 16, I was in my room with my boyfriend, 16, male, and my BFF, 16, male. At the time, my sister, 12, came to my room to ask for something. My boyfriend went to hand it to her. As she turned around, it poked her. She started attacking him, as she was very aggressive at the time, kicking him in the nuts and hitting him in the face. He backed off into the doorway, then she came for my BFF and I pushed her away. She came back, kicked my BFF in the nuts as he tried to calm her multiple times, so he gave up and backed off. That's when my boyfriend came and bear hugged her, and placed her in the hallway. I was so shocked at the moment, I didn't react proactive enough. She was beating on his head, so he tried to grab her arms. At that moment she screamed. My dad walked out and saw that. To be fair, it looks bad, I will give him that. My father, mother and sister then have a discussion in the lounge with crying, screaming and panic from my sister. She claims we stabbed her and were beating her up. There was not one scratch or bruise on her, at least. My father got furious, and did some questionable things, and said some too. In that, I was told to leave, so I did. So much went on, but that's too messy for Reddit. A year and a bit later, my sister admitted that she quite embellished this whole thing. My mother has apologized for this, but, yikes, you know. Others have an entirely different perspective of that day, and that's okay. We all experience interactions differently. That's what I tell myself at least. I don't blame my sister, it's really shitty, but she was 12. Thank you for all the advice and well wishes. I appreciate it all. I think I'll just ride the waves of life for the time being. Bye for now. I hope the dress gets a proper renaissance, in whatever form you choose, you and your mother work things out, that you and your partner make it through these rough times, yada yada yada. Not the idiot. What I'd love to understand is this whole story about your sister. She attacked you out of the blue, and the accusation of stabbing was leveled against you so seriously, that they kicked you out? And, we all experience interactions differently, is how this was resolved? What? She's very aggressive. She's one of those girlfriends that smack their boyfriend to show love. She's young and dumb, and brainwashed into my mother's ways. The accusation of stabbing, yes, she really said that. No, there was no evidence, my parents didn't care. My father and sister see that day totally differently. As of course they would, because the real story makes them sound like trash. And no, it was never resolved. I haven't even had an apology from anyone apart from my mother, and hers was forced in family therapy. She clearly didn't mean it. My family cares about me when they need something, and that's it. Well, OP, this is a pretty messed up situation. Honestly, it seems like no one in your family wants to admit that they did you wrong, like a lot, even if they say otherwise. Especially your mother. Did she really only apologize because the therapist made her do it? Seriously? Good God. Honestly, I think you were too forgiving with them. I don't get why you still have them in your life. Maybe you are still financially dependent on them, maybe that's it. But in the future, it's probably the best if you go no contact with them. Well, I hope things get better from now on, and that you finally have your dress OP either by fixing this one or making a new one with the fabric from it. And preferably, that your mother be the one who pays for it. And I also hope your sister gets some help with this excessive aggressiveness of hers. She might really hurt someone one day, or herself, or worse. So, what do you guys think of all this? Do you have any opinion on this situation? Don't forget to leave it down below. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.